I'm Henry R. Mockingbird, your host with the mustache here. And, heck, there's been a lot of negativity towards the recent live action Disney remakes. And honestly, I could care less. I don't care because regardless of what anyone says, they're going to get their money. I mean, I am beyond complaining about the Disney remakes at this point. I can just sit back and enjoy what I enjoy and talk crap where I need to talk crap, because that's all. Because at the end of the day, they're going to get their money. They're going to get their money's worth. They're going to Scrooge McDuck their money and get on their private jets, and they're going to get the last laughs, because I'm probably going to be getting a lot of joke material out of these movies, and you'll probably get a bunch of animation dweebs complaining about, whoa, why are they ruining my childhood? And you'll probably, and kids who grew up with the original will have their own version of these movies. And they'll discover the original. So I say it's a win-win scenario. So let's stay away from the negativity of these remakes and talk a little positivity, as I show you a very old video I did back in 2020. The video is the top 5 best Disney remakes. And this video was one of my early top 10 lists. And despite its major flaws, I still think it's a pretty good video. And I hope you look forward to seeing some of my, let's say, for lack of a better word, humble yet, let's just say, horrendous beginnings. Because this was one of the very first videos I did back in 2020, back when I didn't know how to download audio, so some of the footage I'm using during some of the segments is kind of, let's say, foggy. So you're gonna have to forgive that. No more horsing around. Let us look back at my shame or my joy. Enjoy. Hello, my name is Henry R. Mockingbird, your host with the mustache. And finally, after counting down the worst Disney remakes, I can finally talk about what I think are the best. So, now before you ask, the 2017 Beauty and the Beast is not going to be on this list. I've already talked about it on my top 10 underrated movies, and I've talked about it on a My Thoughts video. So don't expect to see the 2017 Beauty and the Beast on this list. But with that said, holly freaking hallelujah that I'm talking about the best. So without further ado, let's get going. Number 5, the 2019 Aladdin. I put this one quite low on the list because I don't think it's the best Disney remake, but it certainly isn't the worst. But I'll explain what I do like about the film and what I don't like about it. I like Naomi Scott's take on Jasmine.
I also like the dresses that Jasmine wears. I also like the song Speechless. I really like Delia, and I like the sisterly relationship she has with Jasmine, and I find the relationship between the genie and Delia to be quite adorable. Now let's talk about what I don't like. Before anything, let's address the blue elephant in the room. Will Smith Genie. First of all, why would you auto-tune Will Smith? I get why you would auto-tune Emma Watson, but come on, Will Smith can sing, as evidenced by the intro to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Let's talk about the CGI used on Will Smith, and man, is it not aged well. It looks both weird and creepy. Another problem with Will Smith is when he tries to imitate Robin Williams' performance. Now, Robin Williams was like lightning in a bottle, so there was no way you were going to duplicate it. But when he's doing his own thing, that's when he's at his best. Now let's talk about the songs. Now, the songs in the original movie had a certain energy to them that made them fun and entertaining. I do not get that with these songs. Another problem with this film is Mia Massoud as Aladdin. Now, when he's just playing Aladdin, he's okay, but when he has to play Aladdin pretending to be a prince, it's awkward and uncomfortable. I have seriously not seen a more awkward performance since Hayden Christensen in Attack of the Clones. Oh my god, what did they do to you, Jafar? The original Jafar had a flamboyantness to him. You know, like Dr. Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror Picture Show, or Jareth from Labyrinth, or Mock from Rock and Roll. This Jafar is a lot less fun than his animated counterpart, but also a lot more evil than his animated counterpart. On the whole, the 2019 Aladdin is the definition of a mixed bag. Number 4. The 1996 101 Dalmatians. I already talked about this film's sequel on my top 5 worst remakes list. Now I'm going to talk about the first movie, which in my opinion is far superior. The biggest change is that none of the animals actually talk, which was a smart move on their part. Glenn Close gives an over-the-top and campy performance as Cruella de Vil, which is the best part of the film. I also like Horace and Jasper in this movie. They kind of remind me of a British version of Abbott and Costello. And the new character, Mr. Skinner, is creepy and intimidating as hell. It's also worthy to note that John Hughes, the producer of Home Alone, also worked on this film, and you can kind of see the paw prints of that film in the second act. But overall, 101 Dalmatians is a fun and entertaining movie. Number 3. The 2016 Pete's Dragon. The best part about the Pete's Dragon remake is that it has nothing to do with the original. Let's hope the Mulan remake goes in the same direction. I really like how Pete and Elliot's relationship is given more time and more depth. Not to say that we didn't feel for the original, but we're kind of thrown in the middle of it in the original. I also like the old-fashioned town feel. I also like Robert Redford's take on Lampy, and I quite endure Grace's and Pete's relationship, and I like the interaction between Pete and Grace's daughter. The CGI used on Elliot, well, it isn't as good as the Jungle Book CGI, It's not bad. Is it just me, or does Elliot kind of look like Falcor from the Neverending Story? By the by, you don't need to be a kid to enjoy this one. Number 2, the 2015 Cinderella. The 2015 Cinderella pays respect to the animated version while at the same time doing its own thing. Lily James gives a stellar performance as Cinderella. Cinderella is given more of a relatable and sympathetic backstory. The relationship between Cinderella and Kit is given more time to grow. Helena Bonham Carter is a fantastic fairy godmother. I also enjoyed Helena Bonham Carter as the old Maudra from Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. Lady Tremaine is both threatening and is a force not to be reckoned with. This is a woman you do not want to screw around with. She could easily go up there alongside Nerissa as far as live-action Disney villains go. And speaking of Enchanted, there's a dance scene that rivals the one in Enchanted. And Lily James also gives a rendition of Lavender Blue, which is rather beautiful, but not as good as the Burt Lives version, but still beautiful nonetheless. The Cinderella remake is one of the best Disney remakes, next to a certain other remake. But join me at number 1 if you want to see what I'm talking about. The number 1 best Disney remake is the 2016 Jungle Book.
Okay, I know I've trashed Jon Favreau's Lion King remake, but I want to make it very clear I have nothing against him as a director. With that said, I consider Jon Favreau's Jungle Book remake to be his magnum opus. This film brilliantly combines elements from the animated Jungle Book and the original book by Rudyard Kipling. This movie has amazing CGI. I actually feel like I'm in a real jungle. The relationship between Mowgli and the wolves are genuine, and the animals really feel like they're there. Bill Murray as Baloo is perfect. Scarlett Johansson as Kaa is both soothing and hypnotizing. Seriously, I feel like I'm going into a trance when I listen to her voice. It gives Shere Khan more of a motivation of why he wants to kill Mowgli. Christopher Walken as King Louie is both intimidating and hilarious. And I love Christopher Walken's rendition of I Want to Be Like You. This is a Disney remake I am proud to call the number 1 best Disney remake. Well, that was my top 10 best Disney remakes. I cannot wait to see what your rankings are in the comment section below. Well, until then, so long.